10 away from 7. Good to have you with us on the South African morning. The debate on hiring immigrants is bringing increased focus on South Africa's high unemployment rate, very high unemployment rate. Last week, just to remind you where we're going with this, the EFF visiting restaurants to establish how many foreign nationals were employed versus locals. The Employment and Labour Department has since committed to inspecting the hospitality sector to check the employment ratio between South African citizens and foreign nationals. But is that the right way to go about this? It's, of course, one part of the argument. Let's speak to Labour analyst Terry Bell. Terry, good morning. Good to have you on the South African morning. We're going to talk about the job creation aspect in a moment. That could perhaps be the bigger question to ask. But what do you make of what we've seen the past few weeks, this inspection of foreigners versus locals? Good morning.
Well, I think we can put a label on it. It's called scapegoating, and it's an extremely dangerous form of xenophobia. At a political level, I'd even go so far as to say we've seen the emergence of a local form of fascism. And the fact that the Labour Department plans a mega blitz on the hospitality industry, I think is just a simplistic PR exercise, public relations exercise, because what the Labour Department should be doing is conducting continual blitzes on workplaces to discover if workers are working in safe conditions, being paid the rate for the job. That's what they should be doing. The point is that no studies anywhere have ever shown that foreigners arriving in the country who are capable of doing work, etc., actually lose jobs. They create jobs because they also live within the community. They're paid wages, which then go back into the community and sponsor, say, for example, within the townships with low-paid workers, township enterprises. Mind you, we've now had also in Gauteng, this chap Lux running around and deposing township street sellers, etc. This is a very dangerous form of xenophobia. It's the wrong way to approach it. Government is responsible for not creating the conditions conducive to enterprise. Business is responsible for not investing because of what government is doing. It's not the workers who should be targeted. It's government and business.
And perhaps this could where the phrase of scapegoating that you used at the start, Terry, could come in, because it's a nice way of deflecting away from the fact that government isn't able to create enough jobs in this country to keep enough people employed.
Precisely, which, I mean, let's not go into conspiracy theories, but I suspect this is why the Labour Department is now suddenly taking action on a xenophobic basis, because the ANC government is beginning to panic that the EFF is stealing a march on them, and Gayton Mackenzie's, what do they call themselves, Patriotic Alliance, and even Lux's group in Soweto, that these people are putting forward a simplistic but a form of scapegoating, which is being swallowed by a large part of the electorate. So let's, instead of attacking what should be attacked, we'll just jump on the bandwagon. And I think this is extremely, well, I'm appalled by it on one level, but it's also extremely dangerous.
One could also perhaps look across the pond, perhaps more during the Trump era. Tell me what your thoughts are on this, Terry, that as far as the Republicans are concerned, it's not so much anti-foreigners, but it's more Americans first. Has this just been framed badly, the way it's been done in this country? It's a focus on keeping locals employed, but at the same time accommodating foreigners, but it's coming across as no foreigners, all local. Is this just perhaps being put out badly, being PR'd badly in the public, do you think?
Yes, I think it's Tweedledum, Tweedledee. It's the same thing. It's the same message, basically. America first. Well, what is America? I mean, America is a country, a vast number of people who've come in from all over, migrants from all over the world. We have to understand, and also to blame here are the trade unions. They should be in the workplaces as well, making sure that workers are properly paid, properly treated, given decent conditions. And they're also falling down on the job here. So, but instead of taking on what the tasks that they should be doing, they're taking the easy way out and saying, well, let's find someone to blame so the blame doesn't come back on us. And that's what's happening, whether it's business, government, or the unions.
Just before I let you go, very briefly, Terry, if you can, if it's not too much to ask, how dangerous is this for the labour market going forward, knowing how many foreigners contribute to our economy at whatever level in this country? If this is the messaging we're sending, I imagine down the road this could have a knock-on effect for labour in our country.
Every survey that I've ever seen anywhere reveals that when you have people who are so-called foreigners, and let's face it, the labour movement is supposed to say workers of the world, we're united, where's solidarity? Wherever there are people who've come from other areas, they have tended to create jobs overall rather than see to diminish jobs. So I think that, well, overall it's incredibly dangerous. I don't know where it's going. I fear that if we don't do something about this, it's going to have a knock-on effect. We will have, for example, our financial services industry, I suspect, would be severely damaged if the majority of Zimbabweans alone were made to leave. So I think the overall effect of this form of xenophobia, or in many instances actually a form of Afrophobia, because they don't seem to be targeting anyone outside of Africa, will be horribly injurious to our economy. It'll make it even worse than it is now. At the same time, we will emerge not as a failed state, but probably as a gangster state.
Terry, I appreciate your candor, as always, and your time this morning. Terry Bell, Labour analyst. Very worrying analysis, very worrying reactions from Terry Bell. We'd like to get your thoughts on that, I'm sure, as this conversation continues over the next few weeks.